Great white sharks have ruled the oceans for over 11 million years. They have no natural predators, can detect a single drop of blood diluted in 25 gallons of water, and are capable of launching their entire bodies out of the water to ambush prey from below. By almost every definition, they are the ocean's apex predator. Except they're not. There's one animal that great white sharks are so afraid of, they'll abandon hunting grounds they've used for decades the moment it shows up. And the strangest part? This animal isn't even a fish. To understand how unusual that is, you need to understand what a great white shark actually represents. Adult great whites can grow over 16 feet long and weigh more than 4,000 pounds. Their bite force has been measured at well over 4,000 pounds per square inch, strong enough to cut through bone and cartilage in a single motion. They can sense the electrical pulse of a heartbeat from yards away, and their sense of smell is sharp enough to track prey from miles out. For millions of years, nothing in the ocean has hunted them. Until recently. Off the coast of South Africa, there are stretches of water that were once some of the most reliable great white shark hotspots on the planet. Marine biologists had tagged and tracked individual sharks in these waters for years, watching them return season after season like clockwork. Then something changed. The sharks started disappearing. Not just a few. Entire populations vanishing from areas they'd occupied for decades, sometimes for months at a time. At first, researchers assumed it was something environmental, a shift in water temperature, a change in seal populations, anything that could explain sharks simply relocating. Then carcasses started washing up on shore. And what researchers found inside those carcasses rewrote what we thought we knew about the ocean's food chain. The sharks weren't dying of disease, and they weren't dying from fishing. Their bodies showed precise wounds, and in almost every case, one specific organ was missing entirely: the liver. The cause was identified as orcas, killer whales, the same animal that topped our list in the last video as the one creature that could realistically defeat a grizzly bear. Except this time it's not a hypothetical. This is happening, it's been documented on camera, and it's reshaping how scientists think about who's really in charge of the ocean. Here's what makes this so unsettling for sharks. Orcas aren't hunting them for food in the way you'd expect. They're targeting one organ specifically, the liver, which in a great white can account for nearly a quarter of its entire body weight. The liver isn't just large either. It's rich in a compound called squalene, an oil so energy-dense that humans use it in cosmetics and supplements. For an animal as large and active as an orca, that's an enormous, concentrated source of fuel for very little effort. Researchers tracking orca activity off South Africa identified a pair of orcas, nicknamed for the way their dorsal fins bend to one side, working together to flip great white sharks upside down. When a shark is turned onto its back, it enters a state called tonic immobility, a kind of involuntary paralysis where the shark goes completely still and can't fight back. While the shark is helpless, the orcas open the body cavity and remove the liver, often in a matter of minutes, leaving most of the rest of the carcass behind. One incident in particular became something of a turning point for researchers. After a string of unusual disappearances, a shark carcass washed up on a beach with its liver removed through a single clean wound near the pectoral fins, almost as if it had been done with surgical precision rather than teeth. Drone footage captured shortly after showed two orcas working in perfect coordination, one positioning itself beneath the shark, while the other approached from above to flip it. The entire event, from first contact to the orcas swimming away, lasted only a few minutes. And the great whites know exactly what that means. Tracking data from these areas shows that within days of an orca appearing, every tagged great white in the region leaves, not for a few hours, but for weeks or months, sometimes abandoning territory they'd used reliably for over 20 years. Some locations that were once considered among the best places on Earth to see great white sharks have seen sightings drop dramatically whenever orcas are detected nearby. And South Africa isn't the only place this has been observed. As researchers started looking specifically for this behavior, similar reports began surfacing in other regions where the two species ranges overlap, suggesting this might be a far more widespread hunting strategy than anyone realized. This is an animal that doesn't flee from humans, doesn't flee from other sharks, and has had no reason to flee from anything for over 10 million years. And it changes its entire behavior the moment it senses an orca in the water. So what makes orcas so much more dangerous than an animal with a bite force that can snap bone? It isn't raw power. A great white actually has the stronger bite. It comes down to three things: intelligence, cooperation, and learned behavior passed down across generations. Orcas hunt in coordinated groups, communicate using distinct calls that function almost like a shared language, and teach hunting techniques to their young the way humans pass down skills. A great white relies on instinct and overwhelming physical power. An orca relies on strategy. And when you're dealing with an animal that can think several steps ahead, plan an attack, and execute it as a team, raw strength alone isn't enough. This discovery has forced marine biologists to rethink the entire structure of the ocean's food chain. For decades, the great white shark sat at the very top of most diagrams, the undisputed apex predator of the seas. Now, in at least some regions, that top spot belongs to orcas instead. And great white sharks, the animals that have terrified humans for generations, are the ones doing the running. So the next time you picture the ocean's ultimate predator, remember this: there's something out there that the great white shark is actively avoiding. And it's not a bigger shark or some deep-sea creature from folklore. It's a highly intelligent, highly social mammal that we spent decades underestimating. If you want to see exactly how this plays out, let me know in the comments, because that could be our next deep dive. Subscribe to NatureCrest for more, and we'll see you in the next one.